Very warm welcome to folks as they are joining. Please use the comments and the chat function just to maybe just check in and say hello as you are joining this guided mindfulness practice. And we'll start in just a few moments. So I'd like to say a very warm welcome to everybody joining this mindfulness practice for mindful.org. I'm aware that people join from all over the world, and I'd like to have a real sense of welcoming each and every one to this call, whether from mainland America or South America or Europe or across to New Zealand, Australia and Australasia. Really that everybody feels welcome here in this space. And if it would be a way of helping with connection, please just feel free to use the chat function. Just to say that you are here and where you're from, just so that others know who's on the call with them as well. My sense of what's happening for all of us around the world at the moment is best captured for me with the idea of a storm. The idea that what's happening is that through the world, starting in China and traveling really around the world and expanding, is this storm that we're all having to find a way of weathering, of somehow navigating our way through. The storm is frightening, it's larger than we are, it's disorienting, it poses all sorts of challenges that we somehow have to find a way of keeping safe through, finding our ground with, navigating through. And I think what can be really helpful at these times is two things. One is to have a sense of ourselves having, if you like, the capacity or kind of the vessel or the vehicle to somehow feel that we can navigate, we can weather this storm. And I think mindfulness practice can provide that for us, not just the practice itself, but also what we learn from the practice and how it resources us. I've had a practice for some 20 plus years, and I more and more have over the years had this sense of trust and confidence that whatever life puts in my path, what I have learned through my practice can really help me to meet that, to recognize that, to allow that, to meet that, to work with that. I think the second thing that can be really helpful is to have some sense of a compass, some sense of a way of steering our way through this storm. I was talking to a friend of mine about this, and she said, yes, but sometimes in a magnetic storm, even the compass can start veering all over the place. And I think that too is true. But having some sense of our kind of values, our moral compass, if you like, I think can be so helpful at knowing how to navigate through this storm, whatever way we think about that storm. So what I'd like to offer is a practice that is sometimes called a mountain meditation. And it's a practice which I'll guide us through in just a moment, in which we're invited to bring to mind a mountain. It's not an imaginary exercise. It's an exercise in which we are invited to actually become like a mountain, so that we are embodying the qualities of a mountain in meeting all of the different aspects of the storm of this pandemic that we are all together trying to find a way of navigating our way through. So what I'd like to ask you to do is to perhaps take a posture, whether you're sitting in a chair or on the floor, or perhaps even standing, but taking a moment to just kind of take a posture where there's a sense of the feet being really planted solid on the ground, the sitting bones being supported either by the ground or the chair, and a sense of the torso and the spine having a sense of uplift, a sense of the sky being up here and the crown of the head almost being sort of lifted up. And as if from the inside out, imagining yourself to be a mountain. Now, it might be helpful to bring to mind a mountain that you know. It might be a mountain that you have climbed, or that you've been on vacation to, or is actually near your home, or it might be one that you know from popular culture. But to bring that mountain to mind, and actually bring it to mind and to body. And if it's possible, having a sense of yourself being like that mountain, so that your feet and your contact points with the ground are like the base of the mountain, grounded, connected with the earth. Your hands and your arms and your shoulders are like the ridges of the mountain, the sides of the mountain. And your torso is like the core of the mountain. And your neck and your head, and perhaps the crown of your head, are like the peak of the mountain. Maybe depending on the mountain that you're visualizing, there might be parts of yourself that are above the tree line, the shoulders and the head. Having yourself sensing yourself as sitting here upright with a sense of dignity, wakefulness and openness, but also with a sense of the kind of strength, the solidity of a mountain. The feet and the sitting bones, the base of the mountain, the arms and the shoulders, the flanks of the mountain, the torso, the core of the mountain, the head and the crown of the head, the peak of the mountain. And like a mountain, just meeting whatever's around in this moment with a sense of recognition, sense of allowing whatever thoughts, feelings, body sensations are around, recognizing them. And if it feels okay, trusting yourself in this process, allowing whatever's around in this moment to just be there in and around the mountain. And of course, one of the qualities of a mountain is that in the course of a day, the mountain remains steady even as day turns into night. So right here in Oxford in England, it's just dusk. We're just turning, the light's just turning to dark. And then in the morning, as the day breaks, the mountain recognizes and meets that too. And of course, one can scale that up as well to a season, spring and summer, autumn and winter, and over longer periods of time as well. But one of the qualities of a mountain is that it remains steady regardless of day and night, summer or winter. But the mountain exists alongside all of those changing weather patterns, night and day. In the same way, like a mountain, having this sense of being able to sit steady, meet all the different weather patterns and seasons that come and go. Maybe just inviting you to think back to the last days and weeks, to weather patterns that perhaps you can appreciate, moments or days of connection with other people, where there was something to be grateful for, something to appreciate in your life. As a mountain sitting here, just welcoming, greeting, moments of connection, perhaps the beauty in nature, small things, large things, to appreciate and be grateful for. Just noting those in the same way the mountain would allow the weather systems to come through, substantively unchanged by them. Maybe now casting your mind back to perhaps some of the more difficult weather systems that have come through. Maybe uncertainty or fear or loneliness. And again, and only if this feels okay with you, having a sense of recognizing that, allowing that from this place of steadiness, this place of groundedness, knowing that this too is a weather system, however difficult, it's passing through. Maybe just coming back to this moment, this weather system right now. Connection with the ground, sense of uprightness, sense of dignity, presence. Able to meet whatever weather systems come through this moment. I want to just close this practice with inviting you to reflect on this question. What in your mindfulness practice, or what in your life resources you, supports you to remain steady like a mountain in the middle of all that's going on for you individually and the people that you love, but also actually for the whole of humanity just now around the world? What resources you? What supports you to stay steady with this sense of cool, even-tempered head with a warm heart. Can I just bring the practice to a close and just ask you just to really continue to have a sense of your body as you're sitting here and just coming from the practice back to the mode of re-entering into the rest of your day and the rest of your life. But if it's okay with you, I think in terms of sharing with others, it would be nice to maybe just share a couple of the words or phrases that are around for you about what has resourced you in the comments function on the Facebook page. This sense that this ability to come back to this stable, grounded center is potentially available to us at any moment, at any time. People are talking about nature being resourcing, kindness, curiosity, openness to others being resourcing. And just before we come to the end of the practice together, I want to share with you something which I saw just a couple of days ago, which was a survey that was conducted asking people whether when this pandemic comes to its natural end in the coming months and years, what kind of life do they want to return to? Do they want to return to the life that they had before? And a very large majority of people answered that question by saying, no, they didn't want to return to the life that they had before. But this was like a sort of a wake-up call, if you like, a chance to really consider again, how would we like to meet our lives in the next phase beyond this coronavirus pandemic. So I want to just thank you all for joining on this practice and wish you well in the rest of your day and in the coming weeks and months ahead. Thank you for joining.